Thank you. I feel that this song represents me because it displays my innovation. I think that in my years at Bloom, I've become a lot more creative in many ways and done things like creating dances in an in-school dance group, making useful crafts like plates, necklaces, and other cool things like that, and writing music. Although I have written other songs before, the one I just played for you is the first one I've actually recorded and played for an audience. I also feel that I have grown a lot in confidence. So for my passion project, I focused on music therapy. A passion project is basically where you choose a topic that interests you, and then you do research on it, and then we presented it to a bunch of Bloom families. And I thought that this took confidence because it was scary for me, because my research was sort of personal to me, because everyone in the class had a different subject, and I focused on music, and so I thought that that took a lot of confidence. And other things that I have done at Bloom that require confidence are doing a speech for student council, and I got into student council. I did an interview for Safety Patrol, and I also got into that. And I also made a speech for the entire 5th grade at J.A. Biztown, which is basically a mock government for kids to learn how business works. Although I have grown a lot in both innovation and confidence, I still have room to grow in citizenship. I find it hard to make myself volunteer and to have the time to. So one way that I could use my music for the benefit of the community is by playing for people that come to our local food pantry, because we sort of serve them and give them food, and I think that they would enjoy that. And other things that I could do that could help me become a better citizen is picking up around our neighborhood, because we live right across from a bar, and sometimes people drop their cups and bottles and like litter all around. And I feel that I could beautify our neighborhood by doing that. And I could also just help out around the house. And having citizenship is important in middle school because it will make me more likable, and it will also help us have a more healthy community. Thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope that you are sure that I am ready for middle school. Do you have any questions?
First, can we clap for you?
Yeah, sure.
I know you must be very brave to jump right in here and do this, and also want to compliment how you were really good under pressure when the music didn't work. I think all of us up here have situations where we have prepared for something and something didn't line up, and you handled yourself well. You had a plan B to do it without the pedal, and you seemed very cool, even though inside you might have had a fast heartbeat. So great job on that. We couldn't tell.
Thank you.
So one of the questions I wanted to ask you about, you talked about citizenship, that you noticed that you can give to a local food pantry, but something else you wanted to give was music with them, and then picking up around the house, and being more likable. Tell me more about that, about wanting to help at the pantry and then feeling like something would make you more likable.
Well, we go to a church, and every month they have a food pantry, and sometimes the people look sad, but they're always grateful for the food and stuff, but sometimes they don't look the happiest, and I think that music might help them and brighten their day. And I feel like citizenship might make me more likable, because if you meet someone and you find out that they never sort of give, or they never sort of help out, or not even necessarily never, but they don't do it often, I feel like you wouldn't like them as much, and also it's sort of more likable for myself. I feel like I would like myself better if I knew that I was giving to other people.
Great reflection. And that's even deeper than what I was hearing the first time you said that, in that you were looking at yourself and then also how other people might do that. I definitely feel like I agree with you. I think it feels good to give and know you're helping someone have a brighter day.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So Gracie, my question, staying on that trend of thinking ahead to middle school, how has the process of preparing for and going through this defense, how has this whole defense process prepared you for, you think, or has it prepared you think, for middle school?
I think it has, because it sort of just made me more aware of what I'm doing. And middle school, I'm going to know, and it's like sort of just like a really big place. And I feel that being more aware of myself and what I'm doing and like what traits I'm showing will help me in middle school because, well, it will make me more likable. And also, it might just help me like, let me think about how to put this. I think it's prepared me for sort of like recognizing myself even more. So like, I know in college and universities sometimes they do defenses, and I feel that like if I do anything like this in middle school, or if like even if it's just like a simple school assignment, I feel like it will help me because I can be like more reflective on like what I've done and what I'm doing.
In follow-up, if you were asked to do a defense again, let's say maybe in 8th grade, getting ready to go to high school, having done this now in 5th grade, what might you do differently looking ahead to doing it a second time?
Well, I think, so when I was working on this, for my speech, which I just gave you guys, I was thinking more like word for word, like what exactly I'm gonna say, and I feel like in 8th grade, if I did it again, it might help me if I could sort of loosen up on the actual process, because it gave me like a lot of stress, and it made me sort of nervous, like before my teacher sort of cleared it up, thinking about like memorizing and like how everything was gonna work. And actually after knowing like how this is actually gonna happen, I feel like it will be easier and I'll be more like prepared both mentally and with my speech and stuff.
And you're the first one who hasn't used any note cards, so yeah.
I forgot them. that's the truth.
All right,
What was the inspiration for your song?
Well, I've played piano for a pretty long time, and one of my friends came up with the idea of using an original poem, and so I wasn't sure. I knew that I wanted to do something like original, and I have played piano before, so I thought if I did a song, it could sort of just, it would be easier for me because I already know how to do that. But the inspiration from the actual song, sometimes I just like play around. So the first few notes came from like something that I just like thought of before. That's actually like what most of it was, just like old pieces of stuff that I've like practiced, or like not from real songs, but like that I've sort of made up, and then I just sort of stuck them all together.
Do you have any questions for us?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Amari Grayson and I'm a student at Bloom Elementary. A quote that represents me is, "Life is a song, sing it. Life is fear, beat it. Life is a challenge, meet it. Life is a sacrifice, offer it. And life is love, enjoy it." This represents me because life is different to a bunch of people, and our age, we're trying to figure out who we are and what life means to us. During this presentation, you will see different ways life means to me. A strength I have is innovation. I show this because I do some of my clothing designs, which one is on your handout, and here is a few others. I didn't finish some of these, though. I also show innovation by help choreograph the cheer routine, and I donated money to the Family and Research Center during our passion projects. This shows innovation because I had to come up with these designs, come up with some cheer moves to put into the dance with the music, and come up with ways to get people to donate to the Family and Research Center. This goes with challenge because I had to challenge myself to get through finishing finishing the designs and everything. A growth I have is confidence, because when I presentate, my legs shake a lot, and I stutter. To work with that, I tried out for rock band and made it. I tried out for cheer, and I did the 5th grade talent show, which there's a lot of people doing it all for the cheer routine, singing in front of people, and I also sang and danced at the talent show. And it goes with fear, because I was really nervous before I did it, and I just had to remember all I have to do is beat it, which helped me a lot. It will help me in middle school because I need confidence to raise my hand in class with projects, and I'll need it to make new friends, since some of my friends are going to my middle school. Another strength I have is citizenship. I walked my neighbor's dog, who was a puppy, because she had a hurt knee, so she couldn't run. And so I took it on run so it could get out there more. I donate my toys and clothes for charity, which is really fun for me. I also did peer mediation, which I helped my school with arguments and stuff. And I did safety patrol, where you walk around in the morning making sure you keep everybody safe. This goes with sacrifice, because I had to sacrifice my time, but it didn't feel like that because I enjoyed it so much when I did it. It will help me in middle school because I can do school events. I could help people with homework or help teachers with errands they have to run. During this presentation, you heard a little more about me and what life means to me. You've learned that my 2 strengths are citizenship and innovation, and my growth is confidence. Thank you for your time.
Amari, I think you did a great job. And an area for growth is confidence. It looks like you have a lot of confidence. I think everybody gets nervous, so I think being confident means you do it anyway. So I'm impressed with your confidence, and I thought that you actually showed a lot of confidence.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what the peer mediation was? What did you do? What did that involve?
So we had a train for like a couple days in the summer. So we did a bunch of skits where you would have 2 people who were act like they had a conflict, and you would try to resolve it. So we didn't have very many during the school year, but when we did, we had to think like outside of the box for things. And we had these little slips, but we had to go around and tell people that we had peer mediation. So we did a couple speeches with that. But
so if your classmates had a conflict,
they could sign a slip, and then they'd take it to the Family Research Center, and they'd schedule a thing and schedule an appointment, and 2 people would come down to try to solve it.
Did you ever get sick?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Amari, I want to applaud the fact that you're probably uncomfortable standing up on a day like now, especially with an injury, and I see nothing on your face that would say, feel sorry for me. You're getting the job done. You're very focused on what you need to do. So I wanted you to know we did notice that. The other thing I want to point out is, in addition to giving us something to look at here, I really appreciated you taking the time to point out what we were seeing on our paper as you were explaining one of your skills of being able to design. And the third thing was your support of details, talking about how you and what you're doing to support the community with citizenship, with donating money or donating your clothing, or those were really strong. And what I wanted to know from you was a little bit more about, you said that sometimes you lack confidence and you stutter, and it's about fear and you have to beat it. Can you talk a little more about how you prepared for coming in here today and being in front of strangers to share your story about you?
Well, before this, my friends were like, "You're gonna do great," which helped me a lot, and I took a couple deep breaths, and I practiced a lot in class to make sure I would do it, because when my teacher told me I was gonna do it, first, like first 4 or something, it scared me a lot. So she made sure anytime we'd practice with the class, she'd make me go first to make sure I was okay.
That's good.
All right, well, I am going to ask as many questions as I can before they cut me off. All right, so my first question is, I love that when you were talking about all of your strengths with citizenship, you were so eloquent, meaning that you just spoke very well of all of the things that you do, and you said that you recognize that sometimes being a good citizen means that you have to sacrifice something, and that sometimes for you that means you sacrifice some of your time, that you could maybe do some more fun things to go give to others, right? And I appreciate that because sometimes people miss that piece a little bit. So my first question is, recognizing that sometimes being a good citizen is sacrificing maybe some of your time or something else, how would you explain to someone else that being a good citizen might be a bit of a sacrifice, but it's also beneficial to you as an individual to do that? How is it still a benefit, even though it's...
It's a benefit because it makes me feel really good after I help somebody. Because after they're like, you did this, you could have been doing something else. It's like, no, I could have, but it actually made you feel really good. And I think after I tell them it feels good, they'd do something else, and they'd be like, oh yeah, she's right. It's not as bad as it sounds.
My second question, going back to what Ms. Isaacs was talking about with your confidence, and I agree, you're super confident here today. I don't know what you're talking about with that lack of confidence thing, but I appreciate you sharing with us that you've done some things this year to work on that. You recognized early on that that was an area of growth, and you took steps this year to work on that with cheer and with rock band. And so my question is, how do you think those two things that you've mentioned, rock band and cheer, have helped you with confidence? Do you think those two things have helped you, and how have they helped you?
I think it has helped me because I do rock band in front of a lot of people. Like this weekend, I'm doing a concert at Central Park, so there's going to be a lot of people. So I think that helps me knowing that I have a lot of people who support me during things, and they'll be there, and I feel like it helped me through it, knowing I can present or sing in front of people, and it helps me a lot.
What time is your concert?
7.
Yeah?
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes.
I might. All right, and my third question, and then I promise I'll stop. What's your medal form?
Oh, cross country.
That's what I was going to ask.
I wanted to know that too.
Can you connect that to something you've been talking about?
Probably confidence, because you have to know there's a bunch of people cheering you on or other people behind you saying, get that girl, and I have to like stay in the zone and not worry about who's behind me. And I got this at my last race, I think 2 weeks ago, for 15th place, which before the race I was actually crying because I didn't think I'd medal, because the race that we did, I have never got a medal there. And the fall season, I had started racking up medals one by one, and I was nervous my last race would not be a medaler.
My daughter, I'm Molly's mom, and so I've seen a lot of the races. You do great, and I'm surprised you didn't mention that because you always get medals. It's an area of strength. Good job.
Yes, thank you. Very nice.
So my name is Charles Frank, but you can call me Charlie. And I'm a 5th grade student at Bloom Elementary. Well, where are my manners? Let me introduce myself with a quote. This quote was said by Charles Xavier. Just because someone stumbles and loses their path doesn't mean they can't be saved. I think this represents me because I've seen a lot of good people make bad decisions, and I feel I can help them and make a difference. So this brings me to my first strength, which is innovation. And a reason innovation is my strength is I like to help people. And my evidence for that is this, my JCPS Board of Education certificate. I got this when I helped the board see if chess was a good learning tool. I'm very proud of it. So a second reason why innovation is my strength is that I love to make new things. And as you can see by this, a Lego cardinal that I made, it's unique, and I made it myself, and it feels very symbolic to me, and I'm glad I could take the time to make it. So you may be wondering, how's this going to help some kid in middle school? Well, I'll tell you why. Let's say I'm in a group of people that don't know a lot about art, and we're doing an art project. Well, using innovation, I can help them learn about art, and we can make something new. So, my second strength, character. Now, before I begin on this strength, I want to clarify something. In my eyes, character represents everything. Because character is all about good decisions. You make good decisions, you have a good life, and you have good character. You make bad decisions, you have a bad life, and you have bad character. And the promotion profile is all about good decisions. Anyway, a reason character is my strength is I'll work hard to achieve things. And my evidence for this is my Chess Athlete of the Month award. I earned this in April, and when I got it, I knew I had earned it, and I felt that I could do it again and work harder. So my second reason why character is a strength is I have a wide variety of characteristics. And my evidence for this is my Chess Leadership Award. So I got this last summer in 2017, and we were at a tournament, a chess tournament, and I was team captain, and I had to lead my team to victory, and we won. So that was great, and I felt really proud. So this will support my middle school success because the middle school I'm going to has teams, and I feel I can lead my team using character, and I can make sure that we all make good decisions to help our lives become better lives. So I'm not perfect, and I do have a growth. This growth is citizenship. I chose this because I feel I need to be part of my community more. Because a good thing about life is that people support their community, and I feel I can do that more. So this is important because when I'm older, if I don't grow, I can make bad decisions that affect my life. So it could cause a chain reaction of events, such as I litter, I get a fine, I do it again, and I possibly go to prison, etc., etc. So I want to stop that, and nobody wants it. And the way I plan to improve in this pedal is I plan to go to some of my favorite places around my community and pick up recycling and trash. And I feel that's one of the basic ways to do it. Now, I want to thank you for coming to listen to me. And I'm glad you could take the time to listen to me. And in conclusion, my two strengths are character and innovation, and my growth area is citizenship. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. Any questions? Yes.
Tell me about how you were the captain of the chess team and what are some things you did to lead your team, to show leadership?
Okay, so during the tournament, so it was kind of after so the chess team was getting really, really big, and then it kind of fizzled out after everybody went to middle school. And so my coach had said that I showed some great skills and that I should be team captain. And when I led the team, we had some ups and downs. Like, we had to introduce ourselves with the new people and all. And I felt I did a really good job, and I think everybody agrees. So, yeah.
Charlie, I want to talk a little bit about now that you have survived and you've done your official defense.
Yes.
And now you're on the part of answering questions. What would you do differently if you got to prepare for this day again? I can tell that you put some effort into this presentation. But
Yes.
what would you do differently to prepare for this day if you had to do it again?
So, as in, like, middle school or high school or something?
No, I'm talking about if if your principal would come in here and say, you know what, Charlie, I'm going to have you do this in front of a different panel. And it's a different topic. Like, using what you've done here today, what would you do differently preparing for maybe the same kind of topic, but maybe a different focus?
Well, I think I would do most of everything the same. Like, I would get to know the new topic, and I would see like what I'm good at and what I'm bad at, and I would write a speech, try to memorize the basics, make some note cards, and take a deep breath and smile and begin.
So I'm going to follow up that. That's a great, that's exactly what I was after. What I would like to know is did you do this on your own, or did you have other places that you reached out for some assistance?
I did this mostly on my own. So when we first got to know the promotion profile flower, our teacher was kind of like, well, you'll be getting to know this throughout the year. So at first I was kind of skeptical about it because I wasn't exactly sure what it would help. And so now I just feel really good about it, and I feel like that was the only assistance to actually tell us what it did.
Am I correct in understanding that once you got to know the flower,
Mm-hmm.
you felt more comfortable with then taking the learning as you go? I was wondering how you knew to do note cards, how you knew to practice, how you knew to organize the visual aid. Like, I'm wondering if you had places or people taught you that, or you had to practice and get feedback.
So we did the practice and got feedback. And so then our teacher and friends would do slight tweaks to it to make it better. And really, that's all. And
Did you
so,
ask your parents or did you ask your parents?
no, mostly they just said that I had to smile and take deep breaths. And so they were very supportive.
Thank you, Charlie.
No problem.
So Charlie, can you tell me about the most challenging or difficult thing that you've encountered maybe with this process or in 5th grade in general? Like what's been really challenging for you?
Well, there's been a lot of challenges, but I'd say probably the biggest challenge were these things we did called passion projects. Maybe you've heard of them, but it's where we took something we wanted to know about, a question, we put it on a trifold, and we presented. And those took almost the entire year. And so I knew it was going to be really big, and I was kind of stressed out at the beginning. But then I just felt really cool at the end when we actually presented. So I'd say that's the biggest challenge I've had.
Why was it so stressful for you, and how did you handle that stress?
So it was stressful because, like, everybody's like, there's going to be a lot of people, and you're going to need to stay calm. And we're like, ugh. So I wanted everything to be perfect and to keep everything neat and clean. And so the way I dealt with it was, I guess, I started reading about my topic because that usually helps with stress. And once I got to understand the passion project, it didn't seem so bad, and it wasn't.
So from that challenge, what lesson did you learn from that challenge?
Don't judge a book by its cover. Because, like, at first, when I first heard about it, I was really stressed, but when I actually did it, it was fun. So, yeah. No problem.
Good job, Charlie.
Thank you.
Where are you going to middle school?
I'm going to know, and I'm really excited about that.
Well, we're going to wrap it up with another round of applause for you.
Thank you.
Over hill, over dale, through brush, through briar, over park, over pale, through a flood, through a fire. I do wander everywhere, swifter than the moon's spear, and I serve the fairy queen to dew her orbs upon the green. The cowslips tall pensioners be, in their gold coats spots you see. These be rubies, fairy favors, in these freckles live their signers. I must go sing some dewdrops here, and hang a pearl on every cowslip's ear. Farewell, the love of spirits, I'll be gone. The queen and all her elves come here anon. You may think being a Shakespearean actor is just standing on a stage wearing an extremely roughly costume and saying some crazy long words no one understands, but that's not true. It's a lot about reading a script and understanding the story that the playwright is trying to tell. As you can imagine, this takes a lot of making yourself think in ways you wouldn't usually, which is why innovation is my first pedal. So one reason I think I'm innovative is that I designed a pollinator garden for the playground at Bloom. If you've ever seen the Bloom playground, you'll know that it's almost completely concrete. So it was rather hard to find a place to put it, but I did. Also, I made drawings of the flowers that I wanted to plant, so when I told people about it and they didn't really have any previous interest in flowers, they would know what I was talking about. Another reason I think I'm innovative is I was a photographer at this town, so I had to find people doing exciting things, photograph them, and write a caption about it. And the last reason I think I'm innovative is I'm writing and illustrating a book about cats, of poems and short stories. Another way I think I've grown this year is in confidence. A reason why is I auditioned for The Trojan Women, a play by the tragic Greek poet Euripides. I tried it, and when I was auditioning, I tried out for Helen of Troy, one of the larger roles, even though I knew I probably didn't make it because I was one of the youngest trying out, and they usually give the bigger parts to older people. And yet another reason I think I have confidence is I performed in The Tempest, another play by William Shakespeare, and at one point in the play, my scene partner forgot to come on in this dance scene, so I had to do it by myself. I'm sure it looked completely weird, but it was better than nothing. And the last reason I think I'm confident is I presented my passion project about pollinator gardens. It's sometimes hard for me to make eye contact and speak clearly when I'm speaking to a crowd, but that time I tried my best to do it. And you may think that because after hearing all these good things that there's not something I want to grow in this year, but you were wrong. I think I really need to grow in communication because when people are speaking to me, I tend to stare off into the distance and not pay attention to them. And then they get mad at me because they think I don't care about what they're saying. And if it's the teacher talking to me, then I miss out on whatever they want me to do. Also, I want to learn a different language, like French, because I've never been to a different country, but if I ever do, then I want to know how to speak the language. So that's the way those are the ways I'm going to use skills I developed this year in middle school and grow in some skills that I don't think I'm really good at. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
Can you spell your last name now?
Payne-YOU.
Okay, good. I got it. Your teacher name is
Miss Biggs.
Okay. Well, I think you did a great job. You were very insightful about your strengths and areas for growth. That's really impressive. And I also thought it's really brave when you try out. You said you tried out for Helen of Troy, and you were pretty sure you were going to get it. Yeah, it takes a lot of courage to do that. So I have a couple of questions. I'm going to ask one, and then I'll let the other ladies ask. But tell me what you did with the pollinator garden. You said it was really fun to find a spot.
Well, I want to plant a garden for pollinators in the playground. The playground is completely covered in concrete and fake grass, but there's a little area of dirt around the electrical box in the playground, which is fenced in so people don't trample it. And so that's what I was talking about. I had to find a place to plant it.
Okay. So did you get some bees to come?
I actually didn't. I haven't planted it yet. But
Oh, okay. You just identified it. Okay. Okay. Do you have any questions?
Hazel, I thought what I saw right in the middle of the presentation is you were reflecting on how you were feeling during the presentation, and you kept trying to build upon that when you were looking at us. I knew that you were trying to look at the audience, even though you identified it as something that you were still working on. I related to that because I too have been someone that has looked away when I'm talking to someone, and so it does take practice, and I was so proud of you for that. The other piece too I wanted to comment on before I ask the question is, I think your ability to, I don't know if you know this word, but I'm going to say it, you had a really big vocabulary. You were vulnerable. Do you know what that word means?
yes.
I thought that was a strength of yours, and that you were sharing with the audience very personal information about you as a learner. And I thought connecting with us, that helped us understand where you were coming from. So one of the questions I want to ask for you is, in reflecting back through this process, in going through this today, if you could do this again right now, the one you just did for us, what might you do differently?
I completely forgot to put in the quotes. I have quotes for each petal, and I forgot to mention them. I'm
Why do
sorry.
you think you forgot it?
It's kind of hard to make them fit in, so when I'm going fast and very, very nervous, I just skipped over
Understand
them.
completely. The other question is, where was I looking on here? I wanted to ask about the Pollinator Garden too. Is there a plan for that coming to pass, or is it just now being discussed as a part of your school community?
Well, some people signed up, and I think I don't think it could be some magical fairy garden, but I think if we made the soil a little better in the place where I'm planting, and we planted a few plants that grow really fast of their own accord, I think it wouldn't make a huge difference, but it would definitely help pollinators.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Hazel.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. First of all, I concur with everything that Ms. Isaacs was saying about your commitment to grow and learn and share with us. Like, phenomenal work here. I, as a Shakespeare fan myself, am just blown away by how much you know about Shakespeare, and love, and fascinated by the fact that you have read Euripides and then auditioned for a play. And I want to know how you got started with all of this. Like, how did you start your love of Shakespeare and your passion? Because you've been in several plays and auditioned for more, it sounds like. How did this all start for you? Talk to me about your journey with Shakespeare.
Well, we have a book of the complete works of Shakespeare at home, and when I was little, I really liked to read the witches scene, just because I thought it was cool. And when we moved here, my mom read about Kentucky Shakespeare, and I decided to sign up, and then
Summer program?
then I got really interested in Shakespeare.
Very cool. So that's where you have participated in a lot of these through the
Mhm.
Kentucky Shakespeare Summer Program?
Yeah.
Very nice. Are you going to be a part of that again this summer?
I might. I haven't decided yet.
Okay. What's
But-
been your most challenging role so far that you've played?
Gonzalo in the Tempest.
And why was that challenging for you?
He's so nice. It's really easy to play a bad guy, because if you throw in a diabolical laugh once in a while, you're pretty good. But it's harder to make a character who's really, really good so interesting.
Okay.
But that was really hard.
And is there something you've learned from your work with the Kentucky Shakespeare Summer Program that has helped you through the year in your schoolwork and preparing you for the rest of your life that you do outside of the Kentucky Shakespeare?
How to memorize lines, I think, because
that's basically I think the first time I acted, or one of the first, so I think being able to memorize things is a good skill to have.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Hazel.
Can I ask you one more question, Hazel, about your book about cats?
Yeah?
What's it about?
Oh, it's not some huge thing that's going to get published or anything, but I like to draw cats, so I decided to start writing a little, like, cat poems and cat stories, but I haven't decided what to name it yet.
So you're writing it and illustrating it, huh?
Yeah.
That's great. That's a little creative. I think we're done.
Okay.
Hazel, great job.